And look, we've got to stop looking at property prices on a monthly basis. We seem to have this obsession because we are a nation of kind of homeowners, or indeed wannabe homeowners. We tend to look at property by way of all of the indexes that are published on a monthly basis from the ONS, from Halifax, Rightmove, Nationwide, and so on. We tend to get kind of obsessed on a monthly basis as if we're trading property as if they were stocks and shares or commodities. Of course, most people buy a property to live in rather than it being an investment, and most people live in that property for a decent amount of time. And even buy-to-let investors, there's been a lot said in recent days and weeks about the state of the buy-to-let market and the fact, as you just alluded to in your intro, that lots and lots of investors and landlords are exiting the sector. Frankly, Martin, I don't buy into that. I don't believe that the forecasts whereby landlords are said to be leaving the sector in droves, I don't think that will bear truth. For a number of reasons that I can wax lyrical about if you want me to.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more, because that is very interesting. That, especially if you're renting, lots of people are very, very concerned. I was speaking to some producers out there this morning about rents going up en masse, as well as landlords are going to have to pass on these higher mortgage rates, higher interest rates as well. Will there just be landlords who just think, let's just sell up because I simply can't afford to keep up with these higher mortgage rates?
Well, I think predominantly no. I mean, there will always be some, perhaps what we call kind of accidental landlords, the amateur short-term landlords that have kind of dipped into the sector. But most landlords take a long-term view, whether that's a 10 or 15 or 20% view. And they don't just look at rent and what we call the yield, which is the percentage return that you get based on the value of the property. Landlords will also look at capital appreciation. And as you said just now, a couple of minutes ago, house prices across Britain over the last 2 years are up by about 22%. So if you're a buy-to-let landlord sitting on 5 or 10 properties and they're worth £100,000 each, well, you've just made £20,000 times the number of properties in your portfolio. So it's not just about rental and yield. It is about capital appreciation. There's also the fact, though, let's not forget that not every landlord has a mortgage. Many landlords buy for cash, so therefore the effect of mortgage rates and fixed rate mortgages increasing doesn't affect them. But with regard to fixed rate mortgages, the majority of landlords will be on a fixed rate. So, of course, despite what's happening with interest rates in the market right now, they're going to be protected because they're on a fixed rate. And by the time most of them come off that fixed rate, they're going to see fixed rate mortgages, certainly into next year in Q1 and Q2, having come down. Fixed rates, and again, this is not much reported, fixed rate mortgages peaked about a month ago in terms of their cost. Why? Because the cost of money in terms of the wholesale markets has started to reduce quite significantly since about the middle of November this year. So landlords actually, although some will lament the sector, because of course it's been very, very good over the last few years, generally when you take all of those things into consideration, landlords actually are having a fairly decent time of it.